I would sit in the class, this time with a goal that I will learn the concepts and make notes that the teacher would teach. After 2 seconds of listening to the teacher, my mind would be lost in the daydreams. Daydreams of being a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, earning a lot of money, interacting with my viewers. So I even became the president of the USA once. In my daydreams, obviously. Jokes aside, I would only be snapped back to the reality when my teacher would call my name, usually for the attendance, and it usually took my teacher 3 yells and a strong pat by my classmate though. After 2 years of being the president, I started pulling my hair in frustration. And then eventually, I reached to one conclusion. Boy, you need to fix your attention span. Then I thought of a lot of different things that could fix my attention span. But as a retired avid reader, I gravitated towards the book. I spent my childhood reading fiction, but a few years ago, I transitioned into nonfiction as they have lessons that I can instantly practice. So, reading nonfiction, even though a great choice, would not have trained my attention that much. Like, they are thinner, like 200 pages, and most of them are easy to understand. Fictions are generally hard to read, at least for me, because the juices are buried below the surface of the characters and the story, and we have to actively dig through it to release those juices. Also, if you are reading non-fictions, the names are super hard to follow through. So with the motto, the harder, the better, I challenged myself to finish a hard book in a week. I only have a few fiction books. From what I have, I needed the one that would challenge me. So I decided to go with the book, The Brothers Karamazov. I had already read the book a few years ago, but the first time I read it, I just read it for entertaining myself. I didn't dig through the book. I just read the book for the... This time, the intent of reading this book was different. This time, I had 2 reasons to read this book. The primary one was to obviously increase my attention span, and the second reason was to actually understand this book. I wanted to understand the characters deeply. I wanted to live in the story and get inside the mind of the characters. I did exactly that for a week. So, was I able to extract invaluable lessons from the book? And if so, what is that one lesson that unsettled me? And most importantly, how did reading a book fixed my attention span? I will tell you later in this video. First, let's talk about how my reading went. The first day, as I had already forgotten the most of the characters and the story, I read the book slowly, memorizing the name of the characters and understanding their personality traits. On the first day, I was distracted constantly. A line would spark a vivid imagination and I would get lost in it. One particular moment that I can remember, which made me stop reading, was the image of the monastery. I started imagining about the peaceful monastery surrounded by the mountains and me meditating there. Before I realized, several minutes had passed. I was not reading, I was directing my imagination. In the second and third days, the thoughts started distracting me less. I started going through 30 pages without losing my attention to the imagination. In the 4th and 5th day, I read more than 200 pages. Yeah, I was still getting distracted, but my attention had significantly improved compared to the day 1. In the 6th and the 7th day, I read more than 300 pages and I finished the book. Upon finishing the book, I felt deeply proud. Even though small, I had achieved something meaningful. The sense of achievement was also tinged with a melancholic feeling. It felt like waving goodbye to the world of the brothers Karamazov. Unlike last time, this time I had gained invaluable insights into the nature of freedom and responsibility, specifically from the section of the book, The Grand Inquisitor. Grand Inquisitor may be the greatest psychological argument ever written for why human beings flee from freedom. It was during the height of the Spanish Inquisition, the violence, the bloodshed. It was horrifying. Then, the Jesus arrived. He didn't come banging the drums or anything dramatic at all. He just arrived like a normal dude. But the God being God, the people instantly recognized him. Then, the Inquisitor arrested Jesus Christ. The church arresting the Jesus. Jesus. Like, shouldn't the church welcome him instead of arrest him? Why were they afraid of the Christ? Because the Jesus frees people and the church controlled them. But, before we declare the Inquisitor as an evil person, let's hear what he has to say. The burden of freedom is so great that most people will gladly exchange it for the comfort of obedience. Say you are given the absolute freedom, you wake up. You may think you will wake up with vigor, but no, you are instantly filled with anxiety. Okay, you don't have any beliefs now, you don't have any values, you don't have any meaningful goals to strive towards. Now you have to decide your own beliefs, you have to create your own values, you have to choose your own meaning. You are petrified, you are overwhelmed, you are just pulling your hair in frustration. Suddenly, the door creaks and you look at the door. There is an authority figure standing there. He says, "Don't worry, kid, come with me. I'll decide what's good for you." You will gladly follow him. More people will come to church for bread than they ever will for freedom. Now, let's talk about how reading the book fixed my attention span. How reading a book fixed my attention span. It's active engagement and delayed gratification. Let's talk about active engagement first. Book is not like watching a movie. Watching movie is a passive activity. Reading book is active. When you are reading the book, your eyes takes a chunk of words, your brain processes it, and then you make a sense of it. Or let's say your mind makes a sense of it. The second reason is delayed gratification. When you are reading the book, there is no instant dopamine spike. You need to work your way through hundreds of pages that will sometimes frustrate you. Then you finally understand something that clicks, which makes you feel good. A book does not hand you the reward. It teaches you to become the kind of person who can own it. Reading the book stimulated me. I am reading more books now to chase that feeling. I encourage you to do the same. I challenge you to read one book of your liking, fiction or non-fiction. Read it for half an hour every single day. After you finish the book, come back to the video and share your experience. Now, close the video, open the book. I'll see you in the comments. Bye.